Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Doyle. I'm an instructor at Pasadena City College's Design Media Arts Department, and I am delighted to be your guide on a captivating journey through the history of digital games. The Design Media Arts Department is part of the Visual Art and Media Studies, or VAMS, division here at PCC. For a little bit of my background, I received my MFA from the DMA Design Media Arts Department at UCLA, which is actually the department that our curriculum here at PCC is based on. One of the great things about PCC is that we're a top transfer school to all the UC systems. So especially if you specifically have questions about transferring to UCLA, I'm always open to responding to questions about that. As regards my relationship to digital games, I've been playing games ever since I was a teenager. So teaching this class is truly a dream come true for me. I'm also an indie game developer, and I've been fortunate enough to work as a producer with many talented artists on digital game projects using game engines such as Unity and Unreal. And these are just a few pictures of some of those games. In this course, we are going to identify and discuss the cultural history of digital games from the 1950s to today. As we all know, digital games today create powerful virtual worlds. They allow their players to project themselves into alternate universes where you can create an avatar that could be a muscular Pikachu if you wanted to. But digital games do not exist in a vacuum. Every game is a window into the culture and society that existed at the time and place of its creation. That is to say that from studying digital game consoles, games, and the advances in technology that made them possible, we can not only learn facts about how they were created, but we can also learn things or infer things about why they were created. Along the way, in this story of the 70-year history of digital games, we will learn a lot about human-computer interaction. We'll talk about social issues that have cropped up around games from time to time, such as debates about violence in video games, and the subsequent legislation of digital games through the Entertainment Standards and Ratings Bureau. We'll also, at the end of the course, when we discuss topics, discuss different promises of 21st century tech hype cycles. So virtual reality for one, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence and what we think of through ChatGPT, large language models. Computer history, up until the present day, is a very important part of our class. But I also want to emphasize that this is a course on digital game history, and the main portion of our course's narrative covers basically the history of video games from the Atari to the PlayStation 5, from the 1950s all the way up to the 2000s. We'll also take a look at specific game franchises such as Mario and Zelda, and discuss their core mechanics and how, or if they've changed at all over time. And also in this sort of third unit of the class, which I'll be showing in a moment, we will talk about topics relevant to contemporary games. So different genres or types of games, such as open world games like Zelda, Minecraft, another open world or building game, simulation games such as The Sims, and cinematic games such as the Uncharted series. We'll also take a brief look at competitive input games such as rhythm, racing, and fighting games. But besides these many popular AAA productions, we'll also take some time to explore the experience of independent game development and potential career paths in games. This class is being offered at Pasadena City College. In the course's structure, you will be assigned journal entries, discussions, and a final project where you design your own pitch deck for a digital game. I designed this course over the last 2 years. It is offered as a distance education class asynchronously. So I want to show you all this. This is kind of like a basic overview of the class. So for the first 3 weeks, we are working on the prehistory of digital games. So we'll be talking about historical and theoretical contexts, bigger picture questions, to framing this cultural history of digital games. So we'll be looking at early computers, early board games, and early theories of play. In the fourth week, we move on to what you could call kind of the meat of the class, which is the history of games from Atari up until the present day. So that's more discussing facts, businesses, and the different things that have happened in the industry. And then the final section of the class, as you're preparing your final project, is going to be more topics-based. So we're going to be looking at more open-ended questions in digital games. Things like, why are open world games so popular? Will virtual reality ever become kind of like a killer app? Just sort of things that I'm interested in and that I think that students have a lot to say about as well. And you will be assessed in this course through weekly journal entries. So every week you'll have to write a 500 to 1,000 word journal entry based on the material from that week. We'll also have weekly discussion topics. These are generally a little bit more casual, but they're a place where you can kind of socialize in the distance education environment, get to know your fellow students, and talk about things that are covered in the videos and in the course modules on Canvas. The whole course is 16 weeks. About, I guess 6 weeks into the class, we sort of start the process of the final project. So you're going to move through subsequent phases. The first phase is a game pitch. So that's a very short pitch. And then you're going to develop that pitch into a design brief, which is kind of a standard documentation when you're pitching a game. It's kind of a more in-depth description of what the game is. And then you'll move into a final pitch deck presentation as if you're presenting this game to a group of investors, which could be a very useful skill. I know that this class is very popular with budding indie game developers. So it's a great assignment, and I see incredible work every single year. So we'll be sharing some of that a little later in the course as well. So in conclusion, I just want to welcome you to the class. These videos are intended to be things that aren't only interesting to members of the class. They're not just subject matter that you'll be tested on. So if you're excited by some of the ideas in a video, please feel free to share the YouTube link with friends or family. I really hope that these videos kind of get out there and start more conversations outside of the class. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you through discussions and meeting you kind of asynchronously through Canvas. So until then, take care. Goodbye.